Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to take a look at how we're going to model the Track Buddy Mark II. So I use an application called Fusion 360. Highly recommend it, especially if you're a maker or hobbyist and you just kind of want to, mess around and kind of learn it. You can get a personal, not for commercial use license for nothing. So if you go to their website, recommend checking it out, getting the license for free use. You only can have like 10 designs open at once for editing. But the nice thing is that you can always just like turn things on and off. Yeah, it's a little bit of a hassle, but when it's free, I guess you really can't complain too much. So what we're gonna do is take a look at the Track Buddy boards. So the Pro Micro, it's about 35 millimeters in length. So that's, I guess, good to know. So we'll start by drawing a sketch, and we're gonna go, what, 30, so 34, so we'll say 35. That should give us enough wiggle room. Now, I like to have about 3 to 4 millimeters, right, of 3 to 4 millimeters for our walls. Oops. So let's go back to 35. So we'll keep that there for a second. So we'll add 8 to that in a second here, but I'm going to also measure the BNO and see how wide that is. So that one's about 25.5, so we're going to round that to 26. The reason I'm putting some slop in here is that when we print it, it may shrink a little bit. I've noticed that. So that can cause problems. So what we'll do here is we'll make this sketch, right? And I'm gonna extrude it out. Oh, did I not do? Hang on. That's the front. Oh boy. All right, so we're gonna redo this. 35 by 26. That's fine. So we're gonna do solid. We want to do a sketch. We're gonna go at the top. There we go. Top. Next. Let's double check 36. I think it was actually 35 actually. So that's fine. So now we have this. We're going to extrude it by 3 millimeters. Now this obviously we're gonna need to do a little work with. So we're gonna extrude this out by 8, which is fine, and then we'll extrude this out by 8. Oops. You'll see that there's other designs in here. This is also Mark 1 and 1.5. That's not a big deal. So we've got that. So now let's draw another sketch. We're basically making a giant box, right? Now what I am going to do, I'm not going to really spend a lot of energy on this. What I'm going to do is say, okay, from here to here, we're going to make a distance of 4, a distance of 4. Now, again, I am a hobbyist. I do not do any, I guess, real like CAD engineering. So please take what I'm doing with a giant grain of salt. So now we're going to extrude this up. And it looks like comfortably, if I push the wires down on my thing here, comfortably we will fit at, say, 8, so like 1 centimeter. So I'm gonna bring this up to 20, so 2 centimeters, 20 millimeters. And then it'll be about 23 total. So we'll say 20, maybe. 20, not 200, 20. All right, cool. Now, so we've got this. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a sketch on the sides, about 3 millimeters. We're going to do like 3.1. one. We're just doing 4 corners. So what we're going to do here is I have these little brass inserts that I can actually squeeze down um, with my soldering iron into the plastic, and it has some threading in it, so it allows us to put M2 screws right through it. So we'll say yeah, 2 is probably okay. I might go 2.5 actually. Let's see where that puts us. Yeah, we'll do 2.5. That should be fine. We're just doing this with all of our edges here. Screwed this up. So let's undo that. We're gonna do 2.5 from here. 2.5. Right. Now we're just gonna do an extrude down. Oh, we screwed that up. Okay. We're gonna delete that. We actually want here. That 2.5 and 2.5 on the other side. There to there. So we're gonna just do like a cut here. We'll do minus. We got some space. We'll do -5. Perfect. Save it. All right. So the next thing that we need to do is put in some space for our USB. So what we'll do is we'll just go on the left side here. We're going to do a sketch. Now, in my previous work, I found that it's about 1.5 millimeters for the board. So since we did 3 millimeters for the base, it's about 4.5 millimeters up in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're just going to grab something like this. The width of the micro USB is about 7.3. So I usually go about, I'll say 8.5. And then the width is about 2.5. So we're going to go 3. And then actually, you know what's a little bit easier? If we can actually do a center pointed rectangle. It makes this a little bit easier. We can actually say right in the middle here. So that was what, 8.5? Do, yeah, 8.5 by 3.5 is fine. All right. And then we just make sure that we're about 4.5 millimeters here. And then we'll do another cut. And then that should, yeah, put us right at the end. Now, the next thing that we're going to want to do is, because the Track Buddy, like the BNO, is going to sit on top, it's actually wider than the Pro Micro. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put in like a lip, right? So if we take a look at this, go. What we'll do is we can actually, select that. So what we'll end up doing here, we'll attach it from here, and I guess like there. And then we'll make sure we select the right width, and always add a little slop. Again, you run into situations. One, I have like a um, really cheap pair of calipers. I think they were $20 on Amazon, so I definitely don't expect them to be perfect. I get 18.25, so we'll do 19, and then see what it's that 3.03, and that is what 3 point. Yeah, that's fine. 3.962. Do a little calculation here. 8, 2 is 7, 3.5. So we'll just do this. 3.5. Cool. So what this is gonna do for us is we're gonna create like a little lip here. Now, you're probably thinking like, okay, well that's great, but why? So we're gonna leave a spot. We're gonna raise probably the back half here, so that the B&O can kind of sit on the back half, and then all the wires and things kind of sit in the front. So what we'll end up doing here is we'll also do another, find the middle, just do the middle here, and we'll just go across. That's fine. And then what we can do is we can selectively extrude, and we'll say, I think that was like what, 7, 8 millimeter easily. That was about 1 centimeter, so we'll do 10. That's fine. And so what'll happen is when we put the board on, we can have it kind of resting here. Now, I'm actually going to extrude each of these out by like, I don't know, what does 5 do for me? Yeah, we'll do 5. We'll do 5 on either end. I don't have a good rhyme or reason, it just feels right. I know that because the board has pins along the top ridge, or top edge, I guess, that we're going to need a little bit more space on this side, and then we'll just like hot glue this down. So that's pretty much it for the bottom. Now, one of the things we will need to do is, I like to use zip ties to get all of this together. So what we'll do here, we'll do like a center rectangle. We'll make it bigger, it doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna do 6 because I like about 3. And then we're gonna put this out 5. Yeah, that's fine. And then, so I'm gonna use zip ties. I know that they're about 3 by 3. I know they're about 3 millimeters wide. So 3 by 3 works really quite well. So we'll do 3 by 3. And then if we do a constant here of 5, that should work really well for us. I hope. We will find out. And then we'll just extrude these, -5 right through the bottom. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Make sure that we're in the center rectangle, make that 6. Make it big, extrude it out. Let's do 3 by 3. And 3 by 3. Whoops. Picked the wrong thing. Gotta be careful about that. 3. 3. Awesome. So what this is going to do is it's really going to let us It's just gonna let us thread some zip ties through it. It's nothing real special. All right, so now we've got the bottom, we're gonna need to make the top. Like I said, this is a really simple design. This is basically just a giant box. We'll put some fillets on the ends in a little bit, but we'll do the top first. So to make this, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. We're gonna just say, okay, we're gonna make a new thing here, a new sketch, and then we'll just do the whole thing. Now, I have a feeling, yeah, so when you hit E, if you select the internal pieces, it'll keep those holes. Now, I know that my screw heads are not going to be bigger than these holes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit 3. Now, it's going to do a join operation. I can just change this to a new body. Click OK. And it basically just makes a brand new piece for me so that I can just say, like, okay, I only care about this piece now. Now, so this is where we have to kind of make some decisions, right? The good news is they're symmetric. So if we flip this around, it shouldn't be a big issue, right? Top, bottom should be fine. Now, we do need to make a decision. Do we do the 6x6, front and back? Do we try to do it side by side? Personally, I'm going to do front and back. I'm going to try to put the pause button on the front and the tear button on the back and put as much separation as we can. So we'll just go ahead and turn off this body. So you know what, let's actually take this time to make a component really quick. So we'll create a component. Maybe if I can remember how to do this, create components from body, and then we will call this Track Buddy Mark 2. Cool. And then we will just drag this into there. All right, good. So get rid of that body. So what we're gonna do on the top of this is we're gonna make some decisions. So we're gonna draw a reference line. And we're not going to extrude this. We're not going to do anything with this other than just let me know kind of where I'm working with. So I know that there's going to be 4mm walls around the perimeter. And I don't want to put anything around those 4mm walls because if I do, obviously it's going to go poorly for me. So we know not to put anything there. Now, the other thing that we know is that I don't want a 3-point, I want a center point. We know that our buttons are 6x6. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to do like 6.1 by 6.1 squares. We're going to use the center rectangle, and that's just going to make sure that we stay on the same line so we can put it in the midpoint real easy. And then what we want to do here is I'm a big proponent of things kind of being even. So we'll say 6 there, and we will say 6 there. That should be good. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to recess these. I'm going to recess these by about 0.5. By 1, And what this is going to do for us is it's going to kind of give it a little bit of a recession so that we can stick our button in there. The next thing that I'm going to do is draw circles inside of here that are 3.1mm. And then we're going to just bring that completely out. And that's where our button's going to sit. Cool. Go ahead and save it. All right, perfect. So I know that this is upside down, so when we look at it, obviously it's going to look wrong. But if we flip this over, it'll be just fine. So what'll be nice is on the top, we will not have anything there. It'll just be flat, and then these buttons will sit recessed in there. Now, one of the things that I do like to do is I like to put little fillets on things, so it has a little bit of a finished look. It's really, there's really no good reason to do this other than I just don't want perfectly sharp angles. So what we'll do is we'll just select all the edges on our body. That's everything. Yep, we're gonna put a fillet of about 1. Looks nice. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the top. And that's us, I think, done. One other thing that we can do, since we did, I did this on the other Track Buddy, I believe, is we can go ahead and put fillets on this hole as well. And that should, make it look kind of nice. I will actually do this. We'll do like, actually no, we'll do it on the outside. So what we're gonna do on the outside is we're gonna put in another fillet, a little bit more aggressive. So maybe let's try like 3. No, that's way too aggressive. Maybe 2, 1 maybe. 1 might be okay. This will just kind of put a little bit more of an opening, maybe make it a little easier to get your USB cable in there. So we'll do that for now. See how this goes. So we'll go ahead and save this. And we're going to open this into our 3D printer. So our Cura, which is our 3D printing software, and then we'll slice this. I will do that off camera. My slicing settings will be completely different than yours. If you do decide to do some 3D printing, there's lots of resources. Highly recommend it. I bought a 3D printer about 5 years ago, and it has managed to get a lot of use. There's always little things around the house, so highly recommend it. But every printer is going to be a little bit different, so I'm not going to go through that piece. But we will print this, and we'll have a little video of the printing process. All right, until next time.